there in my cosmic family. Welcome to the show, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for joining me and seeing what you have in store for the month of August. Cancer Rising, I am also one of you. And let me tell you a little bit about how you might be watching today. So you can tune in for your Cancer Sun, Moon, or Rising sign. If you are a Cancer Rising, that means on your natal chart, Cancer will be in your first house and it has your ascendant. That means all of the information I will give you today has to do with the character that you play in the world that we live in. Now, most people relate to their sun sign, and that is based on when you were born. So if you're born in October, then you are probably a Libra sun. And that will really have to do with your ego. So most people over 40 tend to relate more to their sun sign than their ascendant. I like to listen to both signs, and I find that both tend to be true for me. Now, the moon sign has a lot to do with your emotions and what you might feel inside that's hidden that you don't always show. So I'm going to give you a breakdown about what we have to look forward to in August. And we have a lot. We've got a lot going on. So just feel free, settle in, grab your snack, grab a drink, and let's just relax and hang together. So I'm going to take you through what to expect. On my screen here, you can screenshot this. Feel free to bookmark, save, come back. Mark these dates on your calendar. That's what I do. So if I'm going to tell you about a time that's going to be low energy or high energy, make a note on your calendar. I am here because I love talking astrology. This is not my full-time job. I just love to share my knowledge with you. And if you are interested, I will try to show you what I see so that you will understand it better when you listen to videos like this. But as you can see, this is all of the stuff that's happening in August. On the 6th, Venus enters Libra. On the 9th, Mercury enters Leo. On the 11th, Mars enters Cancer. On the 12th, we have a new moon in Leo as well as a solar eclipse. And on the 15th, there's a conjunction between Mercury and Jupiter. On the 19th, in traditional astrology, if you follow the mean nodes, they enter a new sign of Leo and Aquarius. We will get into that, and I will also have a more in-depth video on that coming out after this August horoscope video. On the 23rd, we have Sun entering Virgo. The 25th, Mercury enters Virgo as well. And then on the 27th, a Mercury Cazimi, and that is when the Mercury and the Sun are conjoined, bringing some powerful things to you. And then the month ends with a big boom with the lunar eclipse and the full moon in Pisces. So we've got some great things happening. As I always say, it's a good thing to print out your natal chart before we sit down together. And that way you can follow along with your chart. If you see any planets in the specific areas that I'm going to show you today, it'll be super helpful. And drop me a line in the comments if you have something in one of these specific places. So what I'm going to go through, this is your general astrology. It's not a personal reading because a personal reading would have to include your natal chart, and everyone's natal chart is different. So this is the basics. And what I'm going to talk about is a lot of the energy of the world that's going on and how you might use this energy, how this energy could impact you to do things, to release things. And you might have different things happening to you and you're just like, oh my gosh, why is this happening? Some transits are quick and some are slower. So let's just grab your natal chart and we will get right to it. All right, Cancer, does this look like your chart here? So let's talk a little bit about what's happening for you currently when you might be watching this. So the Jupiter, I love Jupiter. Jupiter and the Sun are lighting up your second house. This is your house of finances. So how is the money flowing? Is it flowing freely? There also is a nice trine to Saturn, which is hopefully helping to give you a gain on handling your funds. So Are you seeing this? Were you always like running short on money and now you're like, oh, wow, I have enough to pay my bills? I hope that's happening for you, Cancer. But our first event is going to be happening on August 6th. So I'm going to go ahead and animate my chart so I can move it right along and go to August 6th. We have Venus entering Libra. Libra loves Venus. That is the home of Venus. So Venus is going to help anything it touches, anything it flows to during this transit. And it's happening in your fourth house of the home. So Venus is at home and happy here, possibly beautifying your home or home projects. The home is really a positive place for you right now. Family is great. Interactions are positive. Now we also have a trine to Pluto in the eighth house. See Pluto there in Aquarius. Now it's retrograde, but the eighth house has to do with shared finances. So I'm questioning here, might there be an inheritance involved or help from family or a possible family turning point? Now we also have Uranus in the 12th house, which is all about death and rebirth. So I don't want to scare anyone, but I just want to say you might be receiving some shocking news from family that could possibly indicate inheritances or money coming through. Not going to happen for everyone. Like I said, this is the energy in the universe. So just something that could be happening. But with this sextile to Saturn, like I'm seeing an elder passing away. So check out my previous video on the grand air trine, because this is really connecting. This is a little bit about your grand air trine. So go back and watch that video and see what it means for that sign. But this could also be illuminating rooms in your psyche that have been dark. Okay, fourth house is your home, your roots. Could possibly be seeing a deep transformation or even a spiritual awakening. So there's a lot of subjective material here, but in the end, this is going to help you be a little more freer. And then on the 9th, Mercury's entering Leo, which is your money house, your house of self-worth, and your finances. So we've got Jupiter and the sun here. So your finances should be shaping up right now. And we have this sextile to Venus in the 4th. So we could be seeing some communication around finances or receiving communication from a family or clarity around your worth and your resources. So hopefully this is indicating money coming in for you. But watch out for arrogance with that sun in Leo. Don't be boasting. Don't be showing your things off or talking to people about your raises. Just keep that to yourself. Just a little note there. On the 11th is our next transit. We have Mars entering Cancer. This is giving you energy to get things done. Mars is going to motivate us and give us some energy. So with that entering our first house is all about our self, our body, our physique. So maybe you are working out or committing to a workout routine. This transit can help bring some good physique to you. Mars is going to help you also be more matter of fact. You might be sticking up for yourself. Now, Cancer is a nurturer. So with Mars and Cancer, you might be defending your children or your family a little bit. You're going to be protecting yourself. You're going to be protecting your home. All right, next transit happens on the 12th. This is a fun one. We've got a new moon in Leo, and I think this is looking really good. It's at 20 degrees Leo, so check your natal chart. But I mean, we've got Mercury there, Jupiter there. These are all benefic signs, all in that sign of Leo. And I just love, Leos are great personality for the most part. But this is happening in your second house of finances again. So we also have two stars here, which is pretty cool. I uncovered there are two fixed stars. One of them is Raz Elisad, which brings about noble leadership. And there's another star called El Jabba, which amplifies creative power, confidence, generosity to inspire others. So this can just bring recognition or encouragement. So second house is about your own self-worth. So maybe you are being recognized for something that you've been working on or doing. But this new moon is going to signify new beginnings. This is your time to plant a new seed. You can manifest anything within your house of finances. Okay, now it is not going to be an overnight thing. New moons take time to cultivate. If I plant a seed today, I'm not going to have lettuce tomorrow, right? It takes a process, so you have to be patient. That's why I always say keep a journal, write down at each new moon what it is that you are manifesting, what are you asking for. But this is your time of new beginnings, and you can really redefine what it is that you value. And Leo is going to bring you some confidence and creativity in that area over the next 6 months. You'll start to see opportunities to increase your income. You might be negotiating a raise or starting a side business. This is a really good time to invest in yourself or even purchase something of value. Maybe you're looking at something that you can pass down to your family, something to add to your legacy. But this will bring about a shift in your self-worth, and it can really bring about creative abundance. You might be having some hobbies that you have that become profitable, right? If you're an artist, maybe you can start selling your artwork, or a crafter. Maybe you will start teaching classes. One way or another, if you want to, you can use this transit to help make money for your hobbies, possibly mentoring, but you're going to really build confidence around the gifts that you have. So Mercury and Jupiter here are going to bring opportunities, but Jupiter sometimes gets too big. All right. So just make sure that you're not overspending. And this transit is not about windfalls. Okay. It's not about winning the lottery, but more about building a stronger sense of value over time. And with the solar eclipse, you might see this new source of income. Like I said, with what you're doing with your hobby, you're going to find a way to bring other money in. So you could see a shift in your priorities, just an overall boost in confidence. And the solar eclipse can sometimes close a door so a new one can open. So if something happens, don't be like, oh, that sucks. What you need to say is, okay, that's happening, so I can do this. So something like this just happened to my sister-in-law. She had this job, she loved this job, and then she got laid off. And she had worked ever since she was 18 years old. And she's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So she has young children. She's just really enjoying being a mom right now. And that's working for her. And she's very happy that she has this time to do this while her children are young. So, always remember, one door closes. Yes, it sucks at the time, but keep your eyes open for something new to open. On the 15th here, we have Jupiter and Mercury conjunct at 10 degrees Leo, again in your second house. Now, they also are sextiling Venus in the fourth house. Let me draw this out for you. All right, this is your Mercury-Jupiter conjunction, and we've got a sextile here to Jupiter in the fourth house. So this is all about expanding information. Jupiter, again, is going to help you attract wealth. You're going to be able to showcase your talents. And Mercury is going to bring some financial intelligence here. It's almost like grand money-making strategies and taking these bold ideas of speaking and turning it into income. So this is really cool for you. I'd love to know what it is that you're working on, Cancer risings. And with this sextile to Venus is going to really help you monetize something in the home or real estate. So this is great for creating content to really gain some long-term financial gain. So it's looking like a good transit for you here. Let me erase that and we will move on to the next transit, which are these nodes. So I have a video that's going to come out when I finish all of these August horoscopes. When I get through them, I'm going to put out my video on these lunar nodes. So I'm a traditional whole sign tropical astrologer. So I am looking at these nodes and they are moving to a new sign on the 19th. So we've got this south node here in your second house. And then your north node is in the 6th. All right, so your south node is all about releasing, and that is in the 2nd house. So you're going to let go of something. I know we've just done all this talk about money and building your finances. Now you have to go and let something go, right? Kind of contradictory here. Maybe you're letting go of just having to do it alone, right? You don't have to be the breadwinner of your family. Can you share expenses with something? You're tying your self-worth to wealth. You don't want to do that. Or maybe you've seen yourself overspending to prove yourself. Are you buying something to compete with the neighbor? Stop doing that, right? We buy these expensive, lavish bags. Do we need them? Not really. So maybe that's what this is asking you to let go of. And then we've got this north node in the 8th house. That's where the nodes are pushing you to grow. So you're going to release and you're going to grow. Maybe you're learning to merge your resources, or like I said, looking at some unconventional financial thinking. You could also be involved in deep shadow work around intimacy. Maybe realizing that, your security comes from something else, like trust, or from your relationships. All right, so I will have a more in-depth video on these nodes if you want to learn more about them. Let me erase them and we will move on to the next. All right, here is our new transit, and this is on the 23rd. We have the sun entering Virgo, and that is happening in your 3rd house. All right, so we've got the sun entering. The sun signifies career, fame. It could also signify the father. Okay, and then we've got the local environment and how you relate to other people, friends, relatives, being good with media. Virgo is going to bring about being careful, being meticulous about things. All right, so when we have the sun, you're going to be good with media, right? With your communication, you're going to be very succinct about how you're speaking to people, being very precise. So I don't know if you've seen my Michael Jackson video, but he was born with his sun in Virgo. All right, so just these people are almost perfectionists. All right, everything's got to be right. It's got to be perfect. So you'll be seeing that going through your 3rd house. And let's move on to the next transit. That happens on the 25th, and we have Mercury entering Virgo. So Mercury rules the sign of Virgo. It is very happy here. Sorry, I just realized that that ended up going way too far. Let's go back to the 25th. All right, so Mercury enters Virgo. He's very happy here. He's at home and he's in your third house, which is all about siblings, neighborhood, small trips, communication. Mercury's going to boost everything there. Everything is going to go well within that realm, within that house. Okay, so a good time to plan a small trip, a weekend getaway. Maybe you'll get some good news from siblings or neighbors. And then our next event happens on the 27th. And on the 27th, we have a Mercury Cazimi. And that is happening in your third house. It happens at 4 degrees Virgo. So check your natal chart, see if you have any planets there at 4 degrees Virgo. This is going to be really good for mental clarity and communication. Mercury is purified by the sun. So, yes, Mercury's getting burned up, but he is exalted. He is like a king in a throne. He is living high. This is his house. Oh, he's just doing great right now. So, Mercury really reaches its peak, and we are looking at maximum precision here. So, mark this down. It happens at 2:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You could have a moment of epiphany or supreme authority or just hidden superpowers. How cool is that? Pay attention. What is zoning in here? And again, I've talked about this already. This is a good time for monetizing your words and ideas. Do you have an idea? Get going with that idea and make it happen. You could be downloading subconscious epiphanies because Mercury also rules the 12th house. And that can help bring you clarity. Okay. Remember, the 12th house could be your dreams, your subconscious. So if you'd like to be open to receiving downloads, that is a good day for it. If you're into meditating and opening yourself up to the spirit, that very well could happen during a Mercury Cazimi in this house. You could have some content media success. Maybe you're mastering logistics or contracts. You could see some sibling or local dynamics or some exciting news from a sibling. Mercury's really being highlighted for you, so I would certainly take advantage. So are you doing a blog, YouTube channel? Let me know. I'm doing a YouTube channel. Maybe I'll start to see some success. All right. And we are then going to end August with a bang with our last event. And that is happening on the 27th. 27th, 28th. It happens really late on the 27th Eastern Standard Time. It's at 11:19 p.m. So for some of you, you might be seeing this happening on the 28th, and that is the lunar eclipse and the full moon in Pisces. That is happening in your ninth house. And this hits differently for Cancer risings because we are ruled by the moon. All right. So, right, Cancers tend to be moody. Our emotions go up and down. So anytime there is a lunar eclipse, a full moon, we're feeling it, aren't we? So this is going to create a personal transformation, shifting your overall life direction, your self-identity, your emotional body. So with this ninth house, it's going to really trigger release around your beliefs, publishing, education, and global perspective. You might get some sudden revelations and endings. Okay. I've talked a lot in these videos about, endings. We're closing a door so that a more authentic path can open. So don't be afraid about a door closing. That's meant to be. If one door is closing, that's not your path. The universe is like highlighting a door, right? You're walking down this hallway with all of these doors closed, and then you see one door light up. That's what the universe is wanting to show you. And it's might be subtle, it might not be subtle. And remember, this is not going to happen overnight. It's not a quick shift, a transition. It's not a shocking revelation. It's something that's going to be unfolding over the next 6 months. So you could see a big launch of a project, something you've been working on. This is a good time to put it out there to the public. An invention or something that you've been working on. You might see shifts in travel or relocation. Maybe you're completing a degree, even. But the moon rules our first house of identity. So, really changing how you see yourself. And your physical body may feel like it needs to rest. You may need to purge emotional energy and just rest. Okay. But you will feel a strong pull to speak your truth. And this could be a really profound spiritual graduation. So, congratulations to all of you, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Risings. If you have a Cancer that you love and adore, please feel free to share this video with them. And again, you can bookmark this video, come back and see it, and let me know how things pan out for you. If you haven't already pulled your natal chart, I will tag the video and casting your own natal chart, and you can always come back and look at this. So I appreciate you, Cancer. Thank you for being here with me and spending this time with me. And here's to a wonderful August.